Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Davidson. I'm a bariatric psychologist from Brigham and Women's Hospital and Harvard Medical School, and I'm here to answer your questions about weight loss.
So for me, I'm in my early 50s. I'm in pretty good health other than my BMI being in the obese section. I'm at 41%. I've been really overweight the majority of my life with some really good successes of losing the weight. I've lost over 70 pounds with different programs off and on at least 6 or 7 times. So I can lose the weight, but I'm not successful in keeping the weight off. So my question is, why is it that I can be so successful in the short term of losing the weight? Why is it that the long term of the lifestyle is so difficult? Why is it that it's so difficult to be effective with the long term? And then what suggestions do you have to be successful in making it a lifestyle?
It's easy to get started with something, and it's hard to continue over time, largely because we're creatures of habit. As we repeat behaviors again and again and again, slowly but surely they get ingrained in our brain. Literally, we start to lay down tracks which make it easy for us to do something. So, for example, it may be very difficult to start to walk. And in order to walk, you first have to crawl, and you start to create the connections that allow the coordinated movements so that you are able to start to crawl, then you start to reach up and grasp on things, and then you start to cruise a little bit, and then eventually you walk. And then we don't think anything of it, because those kind of neural networks are in place such that we're able to do it without thinking about it. Likewise, when we're trying to make a shift, we have to override some of those signals. And when we talk about creation of habit, we're usually thinking it takes about a month for an individual to create a new habit. But it takes about 2 months in order to break a habit. So if you're trying to start to create a habit and undo another habit, and most people are trying to create something new to take the place of something they used to, we usually have to have at least 60 days of concerted effort in order to make sure that that is likely to stick. The other piece to this is that you really are reliant on being rewarded on a regular basis in order to maintain the new habit. There has to be some benefit. So in the area of weight loss, if you start out and you're able to lose a good amount of weight in the beginning with bariatric surgery, with an endoscopic procedure, with diet and exercise, whatever you might do, you get very excited, and this is going to make you want to continue to do it. But then when the weight loss curve slows down, you start to lose the reason to stick with something. You no longer feel that you're getting the positive benefits that you were seeking in the first place. A good example of this too would be if you go to work. You go to work, you get paid every week, every month, whatever it might be. And hopefully you enjoy what you do. But if you go and show up to work and they stop paying you, you might continue going for a while. But if then they don't pay you, eventually you're going to stop going altogether. You're no longer being reinforced for the behavior. So you need to find things that can continually reinforce you to stick with behavior change for the long term. So people, try to find ways to make this happen better. So what I tell you is it's best to focus on the positive side of change rather than the negatives about either change or what you're trying to get rid of. So if you think about why it would be a great idea to have a healthy protein drink or a protein bar, for example, you could say, this is going to provide my cells with what they need to, create whatever it is, to fight disease, to build muscle. That's great. As opposed to focusing on the negative, which might be, do I have to have this again? I don't like the flavor. I'm sick of this. I've been having, pretty much protein drinks for the last few weeks. You need to have the bigger image in mind in order to stay with it, to realize this is something that's going to make a difference for you. Another thing that makes a difference is food logging when you're dealing with weight loss. This allows you to continually think about what you're trying to achieve and see how you're doing. There are many apps that are now available to do this on your phone. You can even do a barcode scan that will show you exactly what the content is. And you can take a look at, am I getting enough hydration? What kind of foods am I taking in? How much am I taking in a given time? And start to see if the choices you're making are helping you or harming you in terms of what you want to achieve. Self-monitoring in general has been shown to be one of the most effective behavioral strategies to keep up with changes. So you can do this with your steps, you can do this with your weight, with fluid, protein, minutes exercising, whatever it might be. Something that's going to help you maintain that, drive because you're constantly reinforcing it. I try to get in at least 10,000 steps a day, and I do it almost all the time. And my wife can't figure out how in the world I do it because I work at a desk job. I sit in an office, I see patients each day. She can't get it. And I say you have to use small amounts of time wisely. And one of the things that I think helps to maintain interest in doing things for the long haul is to gamify whatever we do. Make it fun, make it a game. So I tend to take public transportation to get to work. And so while I'm waiting for the train or the subway, usually it will tell you how long you have to wait. And so most people that I watch are down like this. Their eyes are down, they're on their phones, and they're standing still. Not me. You come watch me, I'll be pacing. I'll be moving all the time. If I know there's a 5-minute wait, I say, how many steps can I get in those 5 minutes? And I'll check. And I feel like I've achieved something when I've gotten it. Now, I've been doing this for many, 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 many years. The reason I'm able to stick with it is because I see some of the results and I do try to make it fun. So I encourage you to take whatever it is you're trying to do and make it a challenge and make it enjoyable. I think using small amounts of time more effectively makes a difference too, so that you don't feel as if you have to put in tons of time. I tell people with walking, the goal is to get 30 minutes of physical activity a day. I said, it may be hard to get 30 minutes together, but could you do 10 minutes in the morning? And I said, well, I could do 10 minutes. I said, could you find 10 minutes in the afternoon, maybe during a lunch break? I could do that. Could you find 10 minutes later in the day? Yes. So this is how you break things down to make it something that you can accomplish on a regular basis, day in, day out, without worrying. And eventually those small shifts lead to big results. And that allows you to maintain interest in a habit for the long haul.